Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atmajyotis to today's Purna Yoga based contemplation. So we have been listening to Prabhuji's Purna Yoga talks, and based on that, for the first chapter, we have picked up various questions, and we are using the questions as our guide to contemplate in the group. So Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa is the primary method of realization in Vedanta. Shravana is to listen to the teachings by realized master. Manana is contemplation, to review the understanding, to discuss the questions, that is manana. Or in other words, it is deepening of the whatever I would have listened. Nididhyasa. Nidhi means treasure. Dhyasa means to hold on to. So the realization, once when the truth is realized, to hold on to that and to live life like that. So the primary purpose is to make my life, your life, happy, healthy, peaceful. And how to do that is by realizing the truths. And how to realize the truth? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. So in that, this Manana is a very important step. It is important because that is how you can review what you have learned and what you have realized. And when you are speaking about it, it allows you to listen to yourself, as well as it allows you to reflect on what others are saying and to compare and contrast. So any gaps in understanding, any further clarity, all emerge as you start involving yourself in speaking. And you might have already experienced some of it. So that is what we are doing as part of these every week when we get together. So far, we have reviewed up to question number 5. So today, we will be picking up from question number 6. What is Atmajnana? And then also, depending upon the time, we will go into Yoga Jnana and Karma Yoga. So I'll call out the names as I see here. So we'll begin with Krishna ji. What is Atmajnana?
Yeah. One question is, I think this we contemplated about Atmajnana in previous class also.
We already have completed. Sure. Then let us take up the what is Yoga Jnana.
Sir, it's from Karma Yoga.
Yeah, I think, sir, first 3 is over. Atmajnana, Yoga Jnana, and Karma Yoga. So, Karma Yoga
From Karma Yoga, we have to
you have to start.
Contemplate. Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, Krishna ji. So then let us take up from Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga?
Yeah. So karma, according to my understanding, is like Karma Yoga is the action, whatever we realized through Atma and Yoga Jnana. It's the implementation in our day-to-day life as a yajnas. Whatever the action we do, it should be in line with the jnana which we got. That is the selfless service. And by any action we perform on this, it should be selfless, and it should not be influenced by any of our sense organs, and doesn't get influenced by the content we gather through the mind. Instead, it should be the jnana, like the Atma jnana based actions. Through that, we do not, which do not lead to endless desires, and yeah, endless desire. Like we would perform the selfless service. That's how I see this karma yoga.
Very nice. Thank you, Krishna ji.
Thank you.
Vijayan sir, would you like to share your view on what is Karma Yoga? Are you there, Vijayan sir?
Yes. Hari Om. My understanding is that do such actions which need to be done selflessly and which we are expected to do in this world. And whatever we do as in karma, we should not see the fruits or the results of it. It is like a duty which we need to do. In short, we can say that the selfless actions which we are supposed to, which we are expected to perform.
That is karma yoga for you.
Yeah.
Wonderful, sir. Anything more? Vijayanji, is there anything more from your?
No, Guruji. This is my short understanding of karma.
Sure. Thank you. Savitri ji.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್. ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒತ್ತಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಲುಕೆ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಅದು ಕರ್ಮ ರೋಗವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒತ್ತಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡು ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ರೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಯೋಗ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಯೋಗ ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವ ಕಾರ್ಯ ವರ್ತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಕ್ಷಣವೂ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಅಥವಾ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೆ. ಕಾಯ ವಾಚ ಮನಸ್ಸ ಬುದ್ಧ ಈ 4 ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಯೋಗವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಇದು ಶರಣರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಯಕವೇ ಕೈಲಾಸ ಅಂತ ಶರಣರು ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ಈ ಪಂಚಯಜ್ಞಗಳು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡುವಂತ ದೇವನಾಮ ಸ್ಮರಣೆ, ಮನನ, ನಿಧಿಧ್ಯಾಸ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ದೇಹ ಸಂಯೋಗವಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ನಾವು ಭೂತ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತಿಸುವುದನ್ನು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭೂತದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಭವಿಷ್ಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವರ್ತಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದು ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಯೇ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಕರ್ಮ ಎಂದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಕರ್ಮಿ ಎಂದರೆ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜ್ಞಾನ, ಕರ್ಮಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ದೇಹ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆದವನು ದೇಹ ಭಾವನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಯಾರು ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದು ಅಥವಾ ಈ ದೇಹ ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ನಾನು ಶಿವಸ್ವರೂಪಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅವನು ಯೋಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕರ್ಮಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಅಥವಾ ಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ದೇಹ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಕರ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ದೇಹ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಶಿವಸ್ವರೂಪಿ ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿದಾಗ ಅವನು ಕರ್ಮ ಯೋಗಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದೇಹವು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಈ ದೇಹ ನಾನಲ್ಲ ಎಂಬ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ದೇಹ ಒಂದು ಯಂತ್ರ ಇದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನಡೆಸುವವನು ಭಗವಂತನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾನೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇದರ ಚಾಲಕ ಭಗವಂತನಾಗಿರುತ್ತಾನೆ. ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಹಿತ ಕಾಯುವುದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಾಹನದ ಮೂಲಕ ಭಗವಂತ ನನ್ನಿಂದ ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಸುತ್ತಾನೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವವನು ಅವನೇ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿರುವ ಈ ದೇಹ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಿತ್ತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ ದೇಹ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸಮರ್ಪಣಾ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ಅದರ ಫಲಾಪೇಕ್ಷೆ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ನಿಷ್ಕಾಮ ಕರ್ಮವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಇದೇ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ.
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಶುಭಾಜಿ.
Yeah, Karma Yoga is nothing but the path of unselfish action. So, when whatever action we do, we always attach a result to it. So here, what Krishna says is, when you do Karma Yoga, when you do it with no expectation, because expectation is what leads to suffering, and that in turn is what is the that suffering is what leads us to all the problems in our life. So when we have no expectation, the suffering also stops. So Karma Yoga is the easiest way to end our suffering. And in this Kali Yuga, it is easier also to end our suffering, which is nothing but do your duty as a dharma and without any expectation. And in the end, you can reach moksha. Is what is my short explanations.
Thank you very much, Shubhaji. Padma Amma?
ಎಸ್ ಕರ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಿರ್ಬಹುದು, ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಅರಿವಿನಿಂದ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ, ಅದು ಕರ್ಮ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಅಂಶಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಬರುವ ಒಂದು ಫಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಫಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಯೋಗ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ 2 ಅಥವಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಅಂಶಗಳು ಸೇರುವಂತಹದ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸೇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಮೂಲತಃ ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು, ಈ ಜೀವಾತ್ಮ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಯುಜ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದುವುದು ಅಂತ. ಈ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಗವಂತನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಗೆ ತಲುಪೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು, ಈ ಭೌತಿಕ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಗುರುಗಳ ಇಂದ ಉಪದೇಶವನ್ನ ಪಡೆದು ನೀನು ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ ಮಾಡುವ ಕರ್ಮ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಭಗವಂತನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಯೂ ಇರೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ತತ್ವದಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅನ್ನುವ ಅರಿವಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ನಾನು ಭೋಕ್ತನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕರ್ತನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶನ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಆವಾಗ ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಕೆಲಸಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳೇ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ತಲುಪಿದಾಗ ಆ ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಯುಜ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುವುದು, ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಆತನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಅದರಿಂದಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅದು ಯೋಗವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಣಮಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಯೋಗ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಸಂಯೋಗಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೃದಯ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಕೈ ಅಥವಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ, ಈ 4ರಿಂದಲೂ ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಭಗವಂತನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ತಲೆಯನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತವೋ ಆಗ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಯೋಗವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಣಮಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯವನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಭಕ್ತಿ ಯೋಗವಾಗಿ ಪರಿಣಮಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಗಳಿಂದ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಅಂತಹದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಇದು ಕರ್ಮಗಳೇ. ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಣಶಕ್ತಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನೋ ಅದು ಕ್ರಿಯಾಯೋಗ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಸಿಂಕ್ರೊನೈಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸವೂ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಅಂಶಗಳು, 4 ಅಂಶಗಳು ಸಹ ಒಂದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನಾನು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಭಗವಂತನೇ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರಣ ಭಗವಂತನೇ. ಅದರ ಫಲವೂ ಸಹ ನಾನು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಹತೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಆ ಫಲ ನನಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನುವ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶ ನನ್ನ ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಆಗ ಭಗವಂತನಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು, ಆ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದು ಯೋಗವಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಇದು ನನ್ನ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ಇದೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿದ್ಯೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ, ಅಂತಹ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಲೋಕ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೋ ಅದು ಯೋಗಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. ಅದನ್ನ ಆ ಒಂದು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಕರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಅದು ಯೋಗವಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಇದು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗದ ಒಂದು ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಲೋಕಸ್ಮಿನ್ ದ್ವಿವಿಧ ನಿಷ್ಠ ಪುರಾ ಪ್ರೋಕ್ತ ಮಯಾ ನಘ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಯೋಗೇನ ಸಾಂಖ್ಯಾನಾಂ ಕರ್ಮ ಯೋಗೇನ ಯೋಗಿನಾಂ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಗವಂತ ಬಹಳ ಸವಿವರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿರೋದುಂಟು. ನಾನು ಭಗವಂತ ಸ್ವರೂಪಿ ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಭಗವಂತನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಒಂದು ನಾನು ಅಹಂ ಅನ್ನುವುದು ಮಾಯವಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕರ್ಮ ಯೋಗವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ನಾನು ಕರ್ಮ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈ ಭೌತಿಕ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ಈ ಅಹಂಕಾರವೇ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯೋಗವಾದಾಗ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಿಸುವುದು. ಇದು ಕರ್ಮಯೋಗ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಅಮ್ಮ, ಸವಿವರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಪದ್ಮಾಜಿ.
Yes, sir. So, I think everyone has expressed in their own way what I also wanted to convey. So, what is karma? Karma is nothing but actions, and actions are something we perform every day. Various actions are performed, but most of it is performed with an intention of getting something in return. If I do this, I get this. That sort of thought process is there behind most of the actions we perform. There are very few actions in which we do not expect anything in return. So, and what is yoga? Yoga is union, basically union. Union with whom? So when we perform actions in union with the divine or with the God, then that action, there is some purity in that action which comes. And because of that purity in action, it becomes like a service. It is not with the intention of, if I do this, what will I get in return? So it is just without expectation, and that is when the karma translates into karma yoga. So how can we be a karma yogi? Is when we when our mind is pure, the intention is pure behind the actions that we perform. For example, say a mother, if you take a mother, when she cooks food for her family, there is nothing like what will I get in return. It is just an action performed to satisfy the hunger and the nutritional needs of that family. So this is in a small example of how a karma can become a karma yoga. Similarly, in every action that we do, we can find that divinity and perform actions. So that is what is Karma Yoga, sir, according to.
Thank you, Padmaji. When we look at, like how Padmaji said, what is that, in this world you and I do? Through our thinking, through our speech, through our body, we are constantly performing one or the other action. So action is at all these levels. Even thinking is an action. I may not perform it through my body, but I may be thinking about it. So for example, I may be thinking about wanting to eat something. It may not be there already, but the thinking is happening. So kaya, vacha, manasa. So at 3 levels, we are performing action. Is there any issue in the action? Is there any problem in the action? In reality, there is no problem in the action. But when you and I look at our life, what we call as our grievance of life, or our dissatisfaction with life, or our issue with life, what is it? When you notice all the dissatisfaction, fundamentally, if you listen to anybody's dissatisfaction with life, how would it be expressed? I wish I had this. I wish I could get this. I wish this did not happen. So there is something that each one of us wants in life. And when that doesn't happen, you and I feel dissatisfied. That is how we express our dissatisfaction with life. That is the fundamental issue that you and I express. I wanted something, I didn't get it. I wanted a mango, but I happened to get a chili. Or I may not have gotten even a chili. So I am dissatisfied. I wanted a promotion. I was not promoted. My neighbor got promoted. I wanted my son to get first rank, but he got maybe 5th rank. So I'm dissatisfied. Or I wanted, so list goes on, right? So you can now add anything else into that list. I wanted something, I didn't get, so I'm dissatisfied. This is the fundamental logic of life in society, is it not? So this is the fundamental issue. When you and I are performing any action, it is this something that was expected but did not happen, is where you and I feel dissatisfied. You and I feel kind of bound. So many a times we feel, ayyo, I'm so helpless. I have this, say for example, it could be a big health issue, or it could be a big financial trouble. Ayyo, why it is there? I am unable to get rid of this. So what I wanted, sometimes when I get also I suffer. Sometimes I don't get also I suffer. See, for example, the other day I was reading in Kaun Banega Karodpati, they had shared one interview of a person from, I think, Bihar. He had won the 7 crore in the Kaun Banega Karodpati. And of course, at the time of Kaun Banega Karodpati, when he won, he was ecstatic. His interview was everywhere. And after many years, they went back to find out what had happened to him. And he had become much more sad. Because now with the money that came, all other kinds of troubles came to him. You know, how to protect the money, and looks like he lost a lot of money by doing wrong investments. So he's now suffering what he received also. He has become much more sadder. So like that in life, when we get also we suffer, when we don't get also we suffer. What is the root cause of that? Who is suffering? Who is suffering? That fundamental question is not addressed. Who is suffering? When I perform any action, who is performing the action? And who is expecting the result? And who is the one who is enjoying or who is suffering? That who is not addressed, is not questioned, is not realized. That is when whatever that is done becomes a roga, like how others said, it becomes a roga. Roga means a disease. So what is most beautiful expression of the divine becomes a roga. Because please see yourself, what you call as an action, whether it is your thinking or whether it is your speech or through various actions of your body, is it not the most wonderful and the most mysterious expression of life? For a moment, just think about, very speech itself. For the very speech itself, so much is happening. First and foremost, something called as a mind is there. And in something called as a mind, some thoughts are emerging. What are thoughts? Very difficult to explain what is a thought. But a thought is occurring. Then that thought is expressing as a voice. And before the thought becomes a voice, some audible sound that you and I hear, there is a mechanism through which it is getting translated. Something that is unseeable, unknown, called a thought, is suddenly felt as a sound. And for that, there is so much of energy, so much of body mechanism that is getting used. And now that sound itself is traveling through air, reaching your ear, and so many transformations are happening. And ultimately, that thought is again getting reconstructed in your mind. So right now, when I'm speaking, from my thought, there is a thought or an image that is getting constructed in your mind. What a wonderful, magical experience. Just this very simple speech itself. So there is a thought, there is an idea, there is an image in my mind. And through this sound, somehow magically it is getting reconstructed in your mind. So like that, every little action that you see in the world, every little action, speech, breathing, moving a single finger, is such a magical, wonderful expression of life. But you and I suffer that. You and I feel dissatisfied. So, karma yoga, like how Padma Amma already said, yoga means union. To be in union, there must be, before the union, there must be some difference. There must be at least two. So there must be somebody who's suffering this action. And through whatever the technique that karma yoga teaches, whatever the truth that Krishna teaches, it becomes one. It becomes no more the difference is there. The one who is suffering, the action that is performed without the one who is suffering. So no more the sufferer is there. And now it becomes a pure enjoyer. The divine is said as the Mahabhogi. The divine is said as a Mahabhogi. Mahabhogi means the one who is always in enjoyment. Every little thing is an enjoyment. So from a Rogi, how one can become a Mahabhogi is Karma Yoga. What is the technique? We will learn as we go further. But already some references have come. So there are two fundamental bondages. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, as far as the karma is concerned. And realizing that I am not the doer and I am not the enjoyer. Which I? There is a made-up I. But the true I is the Mahabhogi. And the true I has no suffering. So, Karma Yoga is performing action without this suffering, or performing action in pure bliss, out of pure bliss, out of pure enjoyment. Like a small child, A small child plays around with mud and so many things, and it has no botheration of time and space. It simply is having fun. So, how to go back to your childlike nature when you perform any action, when you're doing anything in life, is what Karma Yoga is. Any questions or any further points anybody would like to add? All right. I see that Rupaji has joined. Hariom Rupaji. Are you there?
Hariom sir, Hariom everyone.
Hariom. So you've taken up the Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga question? Would you also like to share your views?
Yes sir. In chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, this was mentioned. Sri Krishna suggests us to do our work as per Karma Yoga, not taking the ownership of whatever we do is Karma Yoga. Just going on doing our duty. Like when we do Havan and all, we are asked to chant along with the priest, saying whatever we are putting in the Havan is not mine. They say idam na mama. There. So like that, whatever we do in life should be done with that bhava only. That is what I think Karma Yoga is.
Very nice. Idamna mama. So that is how you transform. And then what remains is the Mahabhogi. Wonderful. Thank you, Rupaji.
Thank you, sir.
Then let us take up the next question. If there are no more questions or views on the Karma Yoga, the most important question, in a way, every question is important. So this question is, what is moksha, or liberation, or freedom? And while you are sharing your views on this question, you can consider the three sub-questions as part of that only. So in a way, 9 has these three kind of sub-parts to it. So while you are answering, you can combine all of it and share your view. So when we talk about moksha, there is also the question about what is the meaning of yoga. We also talk about moksha as God realization. And is God realization a result of something that you do? And God realization or moksha also means somebody who is not in moksha. And that somebody is looking at the world as I am there and the world is there and there is God, which is what in Vedanta called as Jiva-Jagat-Ishvara split. Jiva, I am somebody. Jagat, oh, there is a world outside. Ishvara, oh, there is a maker, and there is a creator, and there is a almighty. Ishvara. Jiva, Jagat, and Ishvara split. So now, keeping all these particular sub-questions in mind, you can share your views on what is moksha or what is liberation. Shall we begin with Shubhaji?
Yes, sir. Yes. Moksha, according to me, is initially I was thinking moksha is something I will go to one beautiful place after my death. But after getting the jnana, that moksha is something that which I don't get after death, because I don't know what will happen after death. So moksha is nothing but right here, right now, which is nothing but freeing oneself from the negativity, what we go through every day, or what we think is negative, and all our jealousy and everything, everyday suffering like greed, sadness, whatever suffering. It's nothing but moksha from all those things. We can get moksha this very minute also, is what I realized. So moksha is escape from the cycle of birth and death. Birth and death happens every moment. So it is, what is moksha? As I said already, it is free from everything. So that is what is moksha to me. And when we talk about what is meaning of yoga, yoga is nothing but union of mind, body, and soul. So it's the purification process which happens inside us, and it's the integration of all, or rather, union of mind, body, and soul. So, in short, we can say it's nothing but the application of our jnana, and it's the union of the self with the divine consciousness. So we realize that we are Brahman, is what is yoga. So so God realization, which I already covered up. Initially, I was thinking God was somebody else, but it is nothing but God is nothing but our own self. So that realization, He is not outside, but He is there inside, is what is the realization we have to achieve. And then what is Jiva-Jagat-Ishvara? Jiva is nothing but when I identify myself with a body and mind, that is when I become the Jiva. Jagat is nothing but the world. Ishvara is something we see that he's somebody outside, that, okay, God is there outside. Ishvara spirit. It is, all I can say is our ultimate goal in life is nothing but Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, and bliss. So when we look at that, we always think that Ishvara is somebody above us, but it is nothing but the it's the Maya that is creating a sense in our mind that the self is um, something outside of us. That is, Ishvara is something outside of us. So when we realize that everything in the world is nothing but the Brahman itself, that is when we realize that Jiva-Jagat-Ishvara, there is no split. I would say there is no split. That is when we realize. So ultimately, I would say that just like the wave and the ocean are nothing but water, same way, we should realize that we are Brahman only. So it's the self-ignorance we have to remove and realize that we are the self. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Very nicely put, Shubhaji. Thank you. Krishnaji, what is your view?
Yeah. So, moksha, freedom or liberation is. Previously, I was also having similar thought, like what somebody told. Somewhere we go at some point of time, and that's where we live, something like that. But after the jnana, like it's the experience of the blissfulness in the current time, without with clear distinction between what is us and what is our role uh, in this birth or in this current form. That is moksha, like experiencing the blissfulness, and that's a moksha, to be pointed answer. The yoga is, the meaning of yoga according to me is union of our ourself, like this body, mind, and with the oneself, with the consciousness, not clearly differentiating, realizing that these all are forms of consciousness, and and making it as an union. That's a yoga, I feel. So, God realization, is it a result of some action? Uh, in one way, yeah, it is a result of an action, because previous to this, like, we're mostly identified with multiple factors we gathered through multiple data. This is me, this is my name, nation, all those things. But through this jnana, like, we are having an action. Through that action, we are getting to know who we are, and so that's the action. So, but there is no space and time. It's all in me. That's how I see the realization. The real God realization is something like moksha, the blissfulness. Experiencing the blissfulness is the God realization, according to me. That's how I think. So Jiva-Jagat-Ishvara split is like Jiva is an, it's a form of an blissfulness or consciousness. Jagat is through Jiva. I'm seeing that Jagat. It's also in me. Ishvara is super consciousness. So I see all these are parts of Ishvara, and I see it as a one. Yes, that's how I see this.
Very nice. Thank you,
Thank you,
Krishnaji.
sir.
Rupaji?
Yes, sir. Moksha is the freedom from suffering that we all have in our lives. Uh, uh, it is also the freedom from our wrong understanding that we are this body, mind, and intellect. And what is the meaning of yoga? Yoga means the union with God. We think that we are separate from God, but uh, Ishvara is there in us only. So when we realize that, that is I don't in the in
What
this
is that?
path of
What is that you are what that you want to express?
sir, in the process of realizing ourselves, we try to connect with God, and when this union happens, that is yoga.
Okay. So when you say something like try to connect with God, so then you should know where God is and how to connect with God.
God is in ourselves only, but because of our conditioning, we don't think like that. We are identified by ourselves as body, mind, and intellect. But when we realize that God is in ourselves only, that is yoga.
So again, I want to have you bring a distinction. When you use the word we, who is that we you are referring to?
It is I, sir, not we.
Okay. So what is that? Can you restate what you mean?
When I realize that God is within me, and everything around me is something that I have created in my mind. Everyone around me is a part of me. They are not different than me. Then I am trying to realize myself. I have realized myself.
Okay. Again, there is another distinction that I would like you to bring out. When I realize God is within me, so which means that there is an I who is realizing someone or something called as God. So who is this I and who is this God in that statement?
I is the ego, sir. Sorry. Not ego. I is our real self.
Okay, and then the I is within me, the God is within me. That is the statement you made. I realizing God is within me. So there is a I which is realizing something called as a God as within it.
Sorry, the true self is the God. So this I is the true self, and when it realizes its true nature, that is when yoga will happen. I connect with God.
Okay. Yeah, please continue.
Is God realization the result of action? Means in some time and space. No, God realization is not the result of action. God realization is here and now, sir.
So which means it must already be. You must already be.
Yes, sir.
Then where is the question of yoga? Yoga means, some effort and some coming together.
I can't explain, sir.
Okay. But do you see the difference in these two statements? Yoga means it is something to do to become something else. There are two and then they have to become one. So which means it's a outcome of some action. Whereas God realization, you're saying it is here and now, which means now it must be. If it is now, then where is the question of yoga?
Yoga and God realization both are one and same, isn't it?
But God realization, you said, is here and now. It's not a result of action. It is here and now, is what you said. Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that?
Can you ask that question once again, sir?
You made a statement, God realization is not a result of action. Correct? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So can you elaborate? What do you mean by that? Can you explain what is God realization? And can you explain how it is not a result of action?
I am already that. That means I am already God. No, sir, I can't explain.
No, continue, please. Correct. So, if you are already that, then
I don't know how to say.
okay. So, why are you acting? Why are you doing anything with regards to God realization? If you are already that, is there a doubt? Is there a question?
Because of the conditioning, I'm acting like this, and I'm not able to come out of that conditioning.
So, what is the then purpose of the action, the so-called spiritual action or the spiritual work that you're doing? What is the purpose of the spiritual action then? That's also action, right? See, you participating in this session, you listening to Prabhuji's talk, all of this is also action, is it not?
Yes, sir. Just to get rid of that conditioning, and also to, even though I know that I am God, this is just theoretical. It has to happen practically.
What is the, when you say it has to happen practically, what is that what is the difference between theoretical and practical for you? When does something become practical?
Theoretically, I know that I am God and I'm not separate from the one, everyone around me. But I'm not able to apply that in my life yet. So through these classes, I'm trying to do that, and reduce the suffering I'm going through.
All right. Anything more you would like to share, Rupaji?
Sir, actually, I am not able to explain, sir.
You are
I
explaining.
start, but then I go blank. I don't know how to proceed.
So, see, at any point of time, when there is a question and we need to express, I don't know is one thought that may come, or what is that I know and how do I formulate my answer is another way you can see for yourself. Instead of telling yourself, I don't know, see what is that you know and see what is the experience of what you know and see what is that sentence or way by which you would like to express. You so far expressed yourself, have you not?
Yes, sir.
Even I don't know is an expression, is it not?
Yeah.
Which means what? You have the power to generate various kinds of thoughts. I don't know thought is also generated by you only. So see what is that you need to generate, and see when you're generating where is the gap you're feeling while expressing, and see what is that can help you to fill that gap. So convert I don't know into a meaningful, purposeful action to remove the I don't know thought. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you're not audible.
No, sir. No.
Is there anything more you would like to express, Rupaji?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Rupaji.
Thank you, sir.
Vijayan sir, would you like to share your views?
Moksha, we used to generally think that when a person passes away, he will attain moksha, or someone wishes, we wishes and pray that he attains sadgati, moksha hogtare anta. So I feel that there is no place, as our Matajis and Prabhus have said, there is no place after death where we say something like an fairy tale that is called moksha, a place where we go and reside after death based on things. But the link is basically, but you would say, like when we hear ಅವ್ರು ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವರು, ಎಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿರೋ, ಅವ್ರು ಮೋಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, or if you do some bad things, we say ಅವರು ನರಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. So when you say that, so generally moksha is not a place, it is a link to the karma. The good deeds which you perform in your current life, the duties which you are expected to do in this earthly life as a human being, good things, selflessness, being compassionate to others, the right of rightness, without anger, kopa, tapa, hana, dire. So this, I think, all this, we cannot have a full laundry list, like if you do 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or 1 to 50. But the whole action compasses as a karma yoga. Karma is nothing but what, as a human being, we should do all the good things. So once we do that, I would say that one attains the moksha. Some say that it is a liberated soul. There will not be any, when you go to moksha, then you will not be reborn again. So you are with the God. So it is not that thing. Or if you do bad things, then again you come back to the earthly world as a sinner, and again you have to regenerate. So it is not that a place where we go and stay there after the death, moksha. So in short, if I want to interpret this, moksha is nothing but the karma yoga which we are expected to perform as a human being, which we discussed a bit earlier before taking the chapter of moksha and discussing karma yoga. That is, I could say this much only in short. So you are asking Rupaji that what is the link, what you are thinking about it. It is the thing. It is our current actions. As a human being, having been born in this earthly world, and we have leading a path of self-righteousness, selfish, being selfless, doing good things, and will lead us to moksha. So this is the short elaboration.
Very nice. Is there anything more you would like to share, Vijayanji?
No, Guruji, no.
What do you feel about the part B of the question? Is God realization result of action?
The God realization is what, when abstractly we say, it is not that we read something, then we realize we read God. Like when we read a book, for example, then we try to understand something. we do some practices, and we okay, then God relation is nothing but an action of our karma yoga, where we are free from all attachments, being selfish, greed, anger. Just like we say, goodness is called godliness. We used to say when we were in school, people used to say cleanliness. Cleanliness is like godliness. It is something like this. What is the good things of the karma we do and all that? Then it is God realization.
Okay, so it is because of the action that we perform, is what you are saying.
Yes, the cleanliness of the heart, the cleanliness of our soul, cleanliness of what we do on our day-to-day life.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you, Vijayanji. Savitri Amma?
Sir,
Sorry.
sir, it's 7:30, so.
So maybe we can pause here and we will continue in the next session.
Yeah.
The same
Yes,
question.
sir. Yeah.
Is it acceptable? Yeah. Savitri Amma, Padma Amma, Padmaji, so I think we'll share in the next session.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So let's end the contemplation here with this. Hari Om.